The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, on a day in the last couple of days of expiration up here. S&P's up 15 points, 2.36 billion shares. So certainly a little bit of volume that we haven't had in any of these days in previous pushes higher. We also have a lot of these stocks that have very high short interest rates or short interest in them popping out here today. So few of the bears starting to give up the ship on this. We'll have to see how this day closes out. Still have room for a reversal, but without a reversal, it looks like we could go to maybe the 1st of May without one. Looking at a lot of stocks that are reporting after the bell. We've got about probably about 36 hours to make it through. If we make it through without any big disasters, I can imagine a lot of people are just going to say, I don't care how big and strong the dollar is. It doesn't matter. These stocks are only going up. And, to this point, it's made people rich. It's hard to be a contrarian after a lot of moves. But always remember that bears make money and bulls make money and pigs get slaughtered. That is one of the hardest things to ever think about. But going through a couple of huge reversals in the markets from 2000 and 2007, 8. One thing is sure, and that is that no one's talking about huge downside risk until it rears its ugly heads. And to this point, most people are trying to discount what is going on in the market, that we are going higher, that we're at a 19 PE for the S&P 500, which is at the extreme 40-year high. And, of course, everybody will always say it's different this time. People that have been in the markets for 60 years always say that the most dangerous words in trading are it's different this time. But we can look at it. Now, when we look at the dollar, tried to push kind of back up to the 100 mark, pushing back a little bit today, off 40 cents on the contract, and the dollar index is off about 32 cents, printing at 98.41 today. So we'll continue to keep and look for an idea on this. But looks like, to me, a lot of the governments are out here, Treasury, FOMC, everybody and their dog, doesn't want to see this 100-point dollar mark broach for the dollar index itself. If you're not familiar with the dollar index, it is 6 currencies against the dollar. And it's Canada, it's Canada, Australia, the EU, England, Australia, and right now, a little bit of pullback, a little bit of pushback. My guess is that in the next, I thought we'd probably do it early this week. We haven't. We've been rebuffed a little bit. My guess is that we've got, with this kind of pullback, you may go sideways for a little while. Could be a week or two. And if you look at patterns, I would go back to the April 1st through April 30th pattern that we had in 2011 when they were trying to take and one of the first taper tantrums. The markets went right back up to the highs in that April, into April timeframe. And the market fell apart probably in about through the next 40 days. And then they went right back to QE infinitum again and saved the market once again. I don't know if there's room for any more QE. Certainly, there isn't any room for lower interest rates, but certainly low interest rates have been a boon to this market. So as we look at the rest of this, we'll be watching the volume closely, but 2.4 billion shares pretty much tells you, I think, everything you need to know. When we look at some of these other ones, IWM volume is a little light so far, but could get back up to some decent volume before the end of the day. Of course, this is options expiration, and this is exactly where you want to be watching for the possibility of reversal, which is about 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Normally, you get kind of a little bit of a pullback on Thursday, and Friday, you get a close right around this level. That is the more likely pattern. This would be at the very high end of, but not the extreme end of the range for what options we're selling or showing that this market could expire at. But you continue to look at probably not the best of news, but the market seems to be taking it in stride. As always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, post a message in the den if you would like to also. So what else do we have going on here? Well, we've got history, which is just about every day. And we'll start that off.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Early morning in 1912, after striking an iceberg around midnight, the Titanic sinks to the bottom of the North Atlantic. Making a cold calculation about the uninsured value of the vessel and counting the 1,500 fatalities at zero, the stock market crunches the numbers and comes out with 2.6 million off a total capitalization of International Mercantile Marine Company, the owner of the doomed ocean liner. And market's a pretty good handicapper of what things mean. I will always remember a story of being a young man far beyond the days that I worked on a film called Titanic in the late 90s. But this story starts with a 12-year-old girl. This 12-year-old girl told me, not at the time, but she was 12 years old, born in 1900, told me of a time when the bells started ringing in a small town in southern Missouri, about 15, 30 miles west of Springfield, Missouri. I think it's called Macon. The bells started ringing in the town. Everybody came to town and was told of the news, and that was the sinking of the Titanic. Strangely enough, in 1996, 1997, whatever it was, I think it was 1996, the company I work with and the products that I developed went on to work on that movie. And we had about 40 people on staff for that movie that were using our equipment. And I went and called on them several times to make sure everything was working okay, whether they needed anything special to complete it. At that time, all the animators were working in the Queen Mary in Long Beach, and right next to it, there was a giant barge that was set up for filming. And they basically rented the convention center in that in the Queen Mary. If you've ever been down to Long Beach, and at that time, the Spruce Goose was right next to it also. It's moved since then. My boss at the time, and the guy that started and financed the company, flipped the guy $100 each to let us go into the Spruce Goose and walk up all the stairs in the tail and go through it with a private thing. And I always enjoyed that. He was more than willing to throw the cash around, a lot more than me. I'm kind of stingy. But on this day in 1912, a young lady of 12 years old would become my grandmother and tell me this story. And probably, I think I was 10 years old when she told me about the sinking of the Titanic. It wasn't a big movie or anything else, but would become a big part of my business life many years later. But I do digress. Was the ghost of Howard Hughes lurking about? The answer was no. Yeah, I see. But it was new record high. Yeah, we got it all. It's nothing but blue skies, and of course,
Everything is awesome.
everything is awesome. But we are at all-time high rates for PEs in the S&Ps, so keep an eye on that. And a lot of the stocks moving out here that are moving big are these highly short stocks. So we're seeing a little bit of a short squeeze out here. Big trouble in Little China. If you missed the news this morning, it was kind of obliterated by a protester, which we'll get into in a minute. China grew at its slowest pace in 6 years at the start of 2015, and weakness in key sectors suggests the world's second largest economy was still losing steam and momentum, intensifying Beijing's struggle to find the right policy mix to shore up its activity. Measures to support the property sector and a series of cuts in interest rates and bank reserve requirements look to have delivered less support to the economy than hoped, apart from feeding a stock market surge. Raising expectation of more stimulus soon has turned that into a giant bubble, at least in my opinion, where most of the internet stocks in the stock exchange of Asia have an average PE of 225 as of Monday. Google, of course, in a little bit of hot water in Europe. And the questions are, have they done anything at all to deserve this? And as far as I can tell from outside, it looks to me like they have not. It looks to me like a lot of people that are out of cash and out of ideas think that Google looks like a good piggy bank that they can hit and take maybe $6 billion out. My question about this would be whether or not this is the start of a trade war with Europe. I think that this could easily be the first salvo in this. It's hard for me to figure out why France needs to get their algorithm for their search, and they want to make it public. That's never going to happen. If Google has to leave Europe, that would be interesting. But my guess is if Google has to leave the EU, that we will be in an all-out trade war with Europe. And I don't know what else you can say about it than that. It's very tough for me to see that the EU could make any real case against Google, but they are going to in the future. I think that's why Google is down as little as it is. If it was real deal, I think it would be a lot bigger. Now, can they still convict him? I think the answer is yes. Socialists are always looking for other people's money, especially when they've run out of their own. And short of Germany having some cash, everybody else is broke. And most people are bankrupt, like the Greeks. But when we come back, we'll talk about that protest, because there's something that I've saw that I don't think anybody else saw or is talking about. But we'll get to it when we come back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
If you weren't watching the ECB decision this morning, they had a protester, I'll call her the protester chick, who all I saw was her rear end standing on top of the desk in front of him. Later on, we saw some more pictures and some different angles of it, but really never saw her face. Only heard her say a few things, and I'm going to play it here just because it's one of these things where I've got, I think, a random thought.
And now, deep insights and random thoughts.
And my random thought is, listen to this.
He's dumping confetti on him.
What is that? Oh,
in the dictatorship?
But there's a looks like there's more.
In the ECB dictatorship.
Is there more than one?
Listen to the gal in the background. That's the problem. They're talking over her. But listen to it again.
He's dumping confetti on him.
What is that? Oh,
in the dictatorship?
But there's a looks like there's more.
In the ECB dictatorship.
Is there more than one?
Anyway, not only somebody says she sounds drunk, I thought she sounded Chinese to me. I thought it was like when Yoko Ono gets all wound up.
I was going to ask everybody to take a smile, a snapshot of a smiling face of him or herself, and they would just sort of send it to maybe the local post office or something. And the government would have a sort of whole pile of snapshots of smiling faces.
Well, Yoko Ono is just as nuts as this chick was out there today. And but when she first came out, I thought maybe she was Oriental with that voice out there. And I thought, could this be Yoko Ono coming there to throw everything at the people to end ECB dictatorship? No, just a random nutty gal. So I don't know what else you can say. But there's another picture of her. Of course, I can't show it here, but she's full fruit bat nuts. You can see it in her face. She's got, there's something going on there. But it got close enough to this guy. You kind of wonder, they were talking about more security, and I'm sure that there will be from now on, but it was a little nuts. But just my random thought, was it Yoko Ono in disguise? No, she had red hair, which instantly let me know that it wasn't Yoko Ono.
That was Deep Insights and Random Thoughts.
In other random thoughts out here, there's a clip that I play from Tony Robbins. He wrote a book about investing. Pretty worthless book, let me put it that way. The first half of it is him interviewing some of the best traders still alive, and there's parts of it that were worth it. The second half is his idea of how to trade, pretty much totally worthless. But there was one thing that he said out here, and there's a reason why I'm going to play this when I come back.
You know, all of these investors have something in common, the best on earth. I interviewed 50 of them, the very best that exist in the world, and Nobel laureates, and said, you know, what is it that sets you apart? They all are obsessed with not losing money. Paul's not lost money in 21 years. But the biggest thing is they look for that asymmetrical risk reward. So Paul's approach is, if I'm going to invest $1, is it really a 5-to-1? Am I going to make 5? I'm certainly going to make 5. And yet, unlike some talking heads on television, he knows he's going to be wrong. So if I risk one to make 5 and I'm wrong and I can try it again, I can be wrong 4 out of 5 times and still do well. He's not wrong 4 out of 5 times.
And one of the, that's actually in the industry called asymmetrical returns or asymmetrical bets. And if you want to learn about making those, Tom O'Brien's going to have a webinar tonight at 5. You can go to the front page of TFNN and check it out. But probably one of the best ways of actually making asymmetrical returns as a smaller investor is using options. Again, you're going to be wrong a lot, and it's a way of severely limiting your exposure up front, and also participating in the upside quite a lot. There are a variety of ways to do it. I tend to use asymmetrical bets, and investing is one of the few kinds of things where you can make a ton of money and be wrong a lot if you know what you're doing. And options will help you, especially in limiting your losses and maximizing your returns. And if you're interested in that, like I said, go to the front page of TFNN. But it's like a baseball player. You can hit 290 and make a ton of cash. It's not like footballs where you got to win 14 out of 16 games to make it to the playoffs. You can hit every third one if you know what you're doing and make a good living, just like baseball. Well, check that out, front page of TFNN. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we're back, I had a few emails. Question, can we play the Janet Yellen video again from Wayne from Dallas? And we have to set that up. It's not easy. You got to basically play it on another computer. They don't really need to figure that out in the engineering room, but you can always catch it on YouTube. And if you go to the front page of TFNN under Breaking News, it's still there. Or you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. I'll give you the link to YouTube, and you can watch it to your heart's content. But thanks, Wayne. When you go to YouTube, make sure and give me a thumbs up on it, too. So that would be nice. Now, other things going on out here. We had another gentle listener out here who actually says he's got the Netflix DVD service, and kind of saying that the whole mailing it back and forth is significantly slowed down. I know that they've quit manning the offices on Saturday and Sunday, so that's only a 5-day thing now. He says, if this company is a company-wide policy, then I would imagine it could make a pretty sizable positive impact on costs in many ways. I'm not playing in Netflix earnings, but if I did, I'd buy a few at-the-money calls. Greg from Tennessee. What else could you say? When we look at it, of course, it's up here at these highs. And, of course, we've got earnings coming for it and a great deal more. And we'll be handling those earnings tonight in the 4 o'clock hour. But what else can you say? I think that's about it. And what do we have here? That's pretty much it. Let's go to some of the stuff that's moving out here today and see how things are going. We've had a lot of signals out here that a lot of these energy stocks are getting to the point where they're hitting massive resistance. Some of the stocks that are moving today is CVE. This is Synovus Energy. This one's pretty much coming back up to its resistance level, but up about 6.5% today. You know, we've got PBR, AR, some of the other ones, ECA. Let's take a quick look at ECA moving also. As crude moved back through $55 today. Let's see what we got it printing out now. $56.60. So this is kind of, I suspect, the short squeeze side of this market, and why we are, whatever it is, 10 or 15 points higher in the S&P cash now. Certainly looks like they caught and ran everybody out of the crude market. Encana, another one of these, and what I'm really looking at back here is the retracements back into these. Now, Encana is one of these that got right back to the 618 retracement, or excuse me, 618, excuse me, retracement. That was at right at 1290, got to 1285 here today. So a lot of these are coming back to their maximum return values for these big moves down. And it kind of hit that level right at the top. But I'm seeing a lot of signals that these things are coming right back to the 618 retracements on many of these stocks. We'll look at a few more out here, but let's look at PBR, because I think Petrobras is kind of the same thing. Had a lot of people going short. Let's go look at a little longer time frame. Kind of just a bounce and a downtrend, but certainly when we look at Petrobras, it's the same thing. It got right up to 876, which is the 618 of its retracement from the high back to the lows. What, about 3 cents higher than that right now? This is where the tough sledding, or extremely tough sledding, is going to come. We've seen some other stocks that are kind of like that too. When we look at Carrizo Oil and Gas, CRZO, we can see that this move all the way down to the $31.70 low of December 16th, where it bottomed out. The 618 retracement to this one is 55.67. We went to 55.90 today. So a lot of these have basically finished their 618 retracements of these, and we're going to get a good signal again, probably in any kind of follow through. But if you want to look at some of these others, like CRZO, its November 10th high at 54.92 had 1.3 million shares. Today we're into that with 650,000 shares with CRZO. I'm kind of seeing this as a theme out here. We may be getting the very end of the pop in energy out here today, but we'll know tomorrow if these things cannot follow through or break higher. I think you've got a good idea of what's going on in the market. Intel came out with earnings. If you've been reading my Tech Insider, talked about this for a while. There may not be the best of conditions in the PC market now, but there are a few things probably going on that you need to know about. And that is, of course, that this company has a 98% market share of the server business. If you look at a server, 98% of them are going to have its Xeon processors in there. And talk about a monopoly. It's hard for me to know of another company besides Apple that has such a margin on products. In fact, I think those Xeon processors have way over 100% margins in them. The desktop processors are about 65. The Internet of Thing processors, low-level PCs, are about 40% margins, maybe 35% margins. So basically a license to print money. Now, this just went back up to the $33 level today, which is where it had fairly big reversal out here on March 27th. We're in that today that had 73 million shares with 46 million shares today. So not enough of volume to really bust this thing out, but I think a lot of people were a lot more pessimistic on this stock. It had been talked down just immensely. And I tell you what, it may go down, but there are 100, for every time you can show me an Intel, I think I can show you 50 stocks that would be better shorts than Intel. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft out here, MSFT. It's got earnings next week, I believe. If I can actually type in SFT. You know, this one's feeling a little love, not as much volume out here, but it certainly put in a decent low. And I think we talked about this when it happened a week ago. And that is that it went and tested its February 2nd low, $40.23, with 50 million shares. With 37 million shares, it went below it. It closed back above it. So you're in a fairly nice trading range. Am I going to buy it? No. It's probably limited upside. The question is not whether it's got a little upside. The question is whether you would short it, I would imagine. And like I said, I think there are a lot of stocks out here that would look a lot better. We've been talking about the airlines and how they looked like that they had made kind of a bottom out here. A little pop in Delta. And I suspect that we're giving that back on these energies. You still probably need to come back and test $41.02. But Delta beat Q1 consensus EPS by a penny, reported inline guidance, cut international capacity. So doing pretty much everything they need to. But my guess is that the heyday of huge profits from energy is probably being discounted in these now. Stock that lost a little bit of ground out here, ASML, that is AMSL Holdings, is broken below its previous support levels fairly strongly today. What's the deal on then? Beat Q1, but guiding down on Q2 out here. And that sets you up for a move down to $88.55, which is the October 16th low. And I think that's probably everything you need to know about that one. What else do we have going on out here? Rice is upgraded up about 8%. Again, like I said, a lot of these stocks that had some short interest are seeing some squeezes out here today. And this is no exception. Nice pop, not a lot of volume, but my guess is that there were a lot of people short this stock coming into today. And the upgrade was from Goldman was probably enough to run these folks out. Again, if we go back and look at these retracements on these, I'm seeing so many of these things come right back to these high levels. Let's clean this up just a little bit so you can see. But basically, your 618 on these, again, in these energy stocks, they're all hitting $24.73. You're about 50 cents short on this one, but it pulled back. You also have kind of a confluence zone in this thing, and you're up against that along with a big down day that happened on the 22nd of December in this stock also. So you pretty much had your first bounce out of these, and the question is, when do you go back and test these untested lows, like the January 14th low in this stock at $16.04. Can CLNE go through the 200 clean fuel energies? This one's just completed its 382 retracement today. And you had a nice gap up here on energy, didn't you? It's kind of come back up. Yeah. I suspect that this is going to be fairly decent resistance levels. You got a whole lot of consolidation from about mid-October all the way through almost mid-November in this stock. And I think you're going to have a lot of people wanting and getting their cash back here. So probably as much as you're going to get until this thing settles down and consolidates out. That's CLNE, Clean Energy Fuels. I think you got, doesn't mean it's pulling back. Does mean to me, though, that you're probably, if you had this thing off the lows, you probably got everything and more than you could get it. Mobileye up 8% again. Hugely short stocks. MBLY are running to town at here. Nice little pop on this one. Target raised to $68 by Morgan Stanley. So no real news out here. Now this one's hitting its 50% retracement of its big move down. And, you know, you got some decent volume out here. Not a bad idea of a stock, but I think you can probably say a lot of these that have popped today are looking at, even if you were bullish on these things, are looking for a lot of consolidation before they go higher. I don't think they're just going to rip higher after these moves. Dynegy, a blast from the past in this, up a little bit. Not much happening out here. Capacity for its auction for 2015, the rest of 2016, apparently doing okay. In SAM, North Star Asset Management, what do we have on this one? Department of Labor proposal on this is hitting this one down. Massive volumes broken at support level from December 17th and January 16th. And that would suggest that you're headed back down to the $16.01 low from October 14th. See if there's anything else out here. NUVA. A little pop down out here. See, downgraded, no big deal there. And I think that's pretty much all that we're looking at here. Some of the stocks that I thought were interesting certainly were Walmart, and not up today. But this thing gapped up on the 13th of November with a almost 23 million shares. Got back into it on March 11th at $80.54 with 6.1 million shares. Got into it yesterday with 5.5 million shares. It's down today on lighter volume. But if you ever thought about buying Walmart, this thing has basically given you a pretty good Wyckoff buy pattern out here. Some of the other stocks in this energy sector that look to me like they've done a great deal of the retracement. Williams Company, when we look at this, its retracement, it's back up to its 618. That's at $52.24. Got to $51.95 out here. Also has a gap down. That gap down comes on date on the 26th of November of last year. 3.7 million shares. We had 3.2 million shares today, so not a bad move up here, which suggests that this could get even a little bit more than that 618 retracement at about $53. We'll be back in just a minute. Remember to check out the front page of TFNN for my video, and also Tom O'Brien's webinar tonight at 5 o'clock, an hour and a half, 90 minutes about options. If you haven't ever traded them before, here's your time and chance to get in on them. So sign up for it.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
That's right. Tom O'Brien comes up in the next hour. I can see him warming up in the den already. Getting ready for a good show. So what else do we have going on out here today? Well, dollar index is off 35 cents. We've got gold up $10, back above 1,200 bucks at 1202.80. A lot of people kind of looking at those gold stocks today. I imagine they're doing pretty good. A few other stocks I wanted to look at out here before the end of the day. We're pretty much stuck at 15 points right now in the S&P cash, 2.7. Let me update this just to make sure it's not stuck. I always wonder about it being stuck and looking at it. No, it just hasn't moved in the last 10 minutes. Neither is the volume. 2111 on the S&P cash. That's up 15 points. 2.73 billion shares, which is not bad. We're going to have a pretty good day, which is going to be the first decent up day. I would like to see some of these other ones have a little bit more juice in them. They don't. From the den, we've got a couple of people looking for and at stocks. One is Biomed, ABMD. Don't know what he's looking for out here, but you have two decent gaps up. My guess is that I certainly wouldn't short this until you got a third. And if you were just looking at the short-term gap up on the 24th with 3 million shares, you're back into it with 278,000 today. Not a bad-looking one. Yesterday, you had 440,000 shares. I'd still like this thing to hit about $65 to pull the trigger on it, maybe get it spiked down there for the day, and your risk reward would be a little bit early. But if you got two nice gaps on a stock up, I would always be worried about the third one. And that's both good on the bullish side. And, of course, if you want to be bearish on it, wait for that third gap. But we'll take a look at it. Also in the den is a UWTI, which is an ETN, which I'm not a big fan of out here, but you are back up to the resistance levels that we saw in the beginning of March. And what can you say? The volume's a little bit better. I just think right now this is a little bit of market gas, and probably running everybody on an expiration day. A few things happening out there, but it doesn't look to me like there's anything that, other than the fact that I think there were way too many people short crude out here, but it does set up a great deal of a ton of stocks actually that are in that energy sector that are at the 618. If you believe that this is the top of crude and we need to go back and retest those lows, this would be a very quick trade out there. If you can bust that 618 on the top side in the next day or so, then you know you're going to be wrong. If you can't, then you've got a pretty good trade to go back and retest those lows in the energy sector. So do or die for the energy sector, pretty much what's driving this market out here today. And besides that, and a few other stocks that tend to be heavily shorted, interesting nonetheless. Again, Tom O'Brien coming up here in the next hour. I'm sure he'll talk about his 90-minute webinar. We also, of course, will be back. I'll be back in the 4 o'clock hour to talk about some of the earnings and what's happening, because it is the Super Bowl of earnings over the next 10 days. My guess is if we're going to have any stocks miss, it's going to start tonight and be through tomorrow. In the meantime, I'll see you next, I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. So when you can, not when you have to.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.